Welcome to another edition of All Octaves with me, Val Kleinhans, where we chat music, both with the fans who love it and the musicians who make it. Today, we have a musician that makes it all the way from Germany. Pop rock artist Katie Drives is in the building. Katie, I am thrilled to have you here. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited that you're here. A lot of us can relate to feeling like an outsider, and I know that a lot of your music strives to mend that and talks about that. In what ways did you feel like an outsider back in the day?
Mostly at school, I was always a very quiet kid and got insecure very quickly. And yeah, I was anything but cool. Like, I was a very boring kid. And so for the other kids, I wasn't very interesting. And yeah, I was a loner at school. I didn't have many friends and I didn't feel included. I didn't feel included in my class. I didn't feel like being part of a community.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, so most of my experiences of being an outsider comes from school.
Okay. So what were they doing that you weren't doing? What made you different?
Um, wow, that's a difficult question. Most of them were more self, like to have more self-esteem and lived a more modern life. I was more from a conservative household, and I was focused on school. I was very shy. I didn't dare like doing anything that wasn't with the rules.
Okay.
I was always afraid of any consequences,
Hmm.
and so I just went to school, and I yeah wasn't that bad at school, but I didn't talk a lot, and yeah, I think that made me kind of
Yeah.
uncool.
No, that's so crazy because we would have no idea, knowing you now and knowing your music now, we would have had no idea that that
Yeah,
was you.
I like talking nowadays. I grew up in my I have lots more of self-esteem right now, and I also have a more supportive surrounding. Like, school
Yes.
isn't the best surrounding for lots of kids growing up because kids at school judge a lot, and yeah, I mean, now we're grown up and adults, probably a bit more open up for different kinds of people.
Hmm. Yeah. And it's helpful to have a group of supportive people around you too to
Yeah,
sort of
amazing
guide you.
friends. Yeah, when I finished school, and then one year I was working as a waitress, which was very challenging, but I grew into it. Like, you have to talk to people, like the
Hmm.
guests don't come to you. You have to come to the guests, and they only come to you if they complain about something. uh, for sure, that was a good lesson. But then I started studying, and that surrounding was amazing. I loved all these people. Yeah, lots of them had the same experiences, that they were more like the outsiders at school,
Yes.
which was interesting because it was a music studies. For sure. It was called Popular Music and Media. And yeah, I was wondering if all the kids who are into music are slightly different, so they don't fit in, or we were the outsiders, and instead of having like real friends, music became our best friend. Maybe
Yes.
it depends, it's individual. Um, yeah, but it was kind of interesting.
Totally understand that as a metalhead. You feel like nobody else in the world understands like your culture, your vibe, and you find your own little community somehow. And okay, life's not that bad.
Yeah, today I'm also friends with lots of people from school. Yeah, it's way easier now to connect with them
Yes.
than in days back. And today maybe they don't even remember that I
That's
weird, that I was the weird kid, because now we're cool with each other. Yeah.
well, girl power is another huge part of your message that I'm absolutely obsessed with. But what does girl power mean to you? Because a lot of people define it in different ways. What does it mean to you?
Yeah, my personal experience is that I often feel like I get underestimated, and
Mm.
that, for example, my appearance is more girly and cute. I have a baby face. I look younger than I am, and yeah, I feel like people judge me as being weaker, um, vulnerable, even if I'm not. Like, for example, maybe it's a me problem, but I don't like if a man asks to carry something for me. Like, do you think
Yeah.
and even for sure, I'm not as strong as a tall man, but at least I want to try. Maybe I fail, but I want to have the experience. So don't take it away from me. I can, if I ask you, please help me, then for sure. And if they ask once, it's kind. But then when I say no, thank you, no, thank you, and then they ask again, oh, are you sure? Like, yeah, I'm sure. Just let me do my thing, and even it's okay if I'm exhausted
Yeah.
after that. But I'm not made of glass. I can face challenges, and it's okay to be exhausted. And yeah, so for me, being a powerful girl is like, yeah, being loud and just trying, yeah, stuff like that.
No, I understand. In the States, we stick to those gender norms pretty hardcore. Like the men want to be the man, and the women, or at least most women, are fine with being a little bit more submissive. So when somebody like you or I breaks the ice a little bit and goes against what's normal, then you get the looks, you get the, are you sure you can do that? And it's like, no, no is a full sentence. We got this. It's,
Yeah, that's so annoying. I mean, I'm not a princess and I don't want to be treated
yeah.
like a princess. If I want to carry lots of stuff with me, then I have to be able to carry it on my own.
Yeah.
So, and it's not only the physical thing, it's also like emotionally that, yeah, it's harder to experience that somebody doesn't tell you something because they think you're not able to cope with it than actually coping with the bad news.
Mm, I understand. What do you think it takes to become a powerful girl in music, a powerful woman in music?
Mm, sharing your true emotions, telling what you actually want to say, being also sometimes it's kind of strong being like the only woman in the male dominated
It's hard, yeah.
thing. Yeah, for me, actually, I'm very lucky. All the guys I make music with are very kind and very cool and stuff like that. Um, yeah, playing like uncommon instruments like drums, screaming, yeah, doing hard kinds of music, doing something unexpected, and also like managing all the stuff on your own.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think that's makes you a strong woman in music.
It does. Getting it done on your own, being independent somewhat, but also knowing when to ask for help. It's a
Yeah,
balance. Yeah. Well, so
yeah, it's
you
absolutely totally okay
you
to ask for help. For
right.
sure.
Yeah, we struggle with that. I definitely struggle with that because we want to be perceived as these strong
Yeah,
people who can do it on our own. But, and, you think that if you ask for help, you look weak. And I don't necessarily believe that, but I see how it happens. Sometimes it takes strength to ask for help or
yeah,
recognize.
and it's strength to know your limits and to
Mhm.
communicate them.
Yeah. Well, when I was listening to your music, you have a beautiful alto tone to your voice. And I was just wondering, like, was your voice always your instrument of choice? Was it always something you worked on, or did you play anything else?
When I was 6 years old, I learned to play piano.
Mhm.
And when I was 7, I started singing in a children's choir. We sometimes made little musicals and stuff like that. And I quit the piano when I was 14. I already realized that I'm more the singer
Yeah.
type. And I think around 10 or 11 years old, I noticed that, wow, singing is really cool. It's fun and it doesn't sound too bad. And I also want to do more like that pop genre instead
Mhm.
of like classical way. Yeah, so already as a young teenager, um, I realized that I love singing and it fulfilled me. And it was my instrument of choice. I would love to play electric guitar because it looks cool on stage while
Yeah,
I'm singing.
exactly.
Um, yeah, maybe I will learn it soon, but I don't play any instruments on stage right now.
Oh, okay. Well, still, yeah, you would have fooled me because I'm like, wow, her voice is so amazing. I don't know if I would need to learn anything else. Like you've got that on all
Thank,
its own.
thank you, but it's fun. So playing instruments is really cool.
Yeah, that's what matters. So, how did you fall in love with the pop rock sound? Because for anybody that hasn't heard you, that's sort of what your sound is like. If I was to paint a broad picture of what it is, what made you fall in love with that genre?
I think the first album ever that really impressed me was One of the Boys by Katy Perry. I don't know if
Yes.
anybody knows it, but it's completely different than Katy Perry nowadays. And besides the common songs like Hot and Cold and I Kissed a Girl, there are songs that sound very pop rock. But I mean, I grew up in times when the mainstream music was more diverse than now. There was Green Day next to Eminem, next to David Guetta.
Right, right, right.
And I think I describe my music taste like if I like the harmonies and if like melodies, I don't care which instruments play it. But yeah, growing a bit older, I yeah fell in love with electric guitars and energetic drums, and yeah, I like that it's not completely mainstream and it's a bit something rougher. Still, I'm into catchy songs, and so it's still pop, but with organic instruments. Yeah, I think it touches my heart a bit more. It's emotional. It can transport energy very well. That's what I like about pop rock.
Yeah, because it has a little bit of an edge to it still too. It has that rock and roll edge. I mean, I grew up, loving Avril Lavigne just as much. I or Ashley Simpson, which is even further back. But like I grew up loving them and wanting to do what they did because they were some of the first women with guitars that I grew up seeing. So for them, I was like, huh, and I miss them from time to time. Here in the States, like Machine Gun Kelly is kind of sort of bringing that sound back, and I'm so grateful because I'm ready to hear it. I love hearing it all. Let's talk a little bit more about your first tour. I think that happened last year. How was that?
Oh, it was really great. Before 2023, I didn't have a band. I played some gigs, but it was only me singing, and the music was from a backing track.
Oh, okay.
But I do kind of rock music. A band is necessary for sure for playing bigger gigs. So in the end of no, in the beginning of the year, I found my band, and it was not one tour like gig after gig. It was more like we had two gigs in that week, and a few weeks later we had two more gigs, and next month, and so on. But through a few cities, they were all small festivals and stuff like that, and it was really fun because it was the first tour experience when I had some shows on my own. I was just going to the train, uh, singing, and then going back. And now we rent a car. We were the band guys, but also somebody for camera, and sleeping in that city, driving to the next city next day. Was a whole experience. It was a lot of fun because we became friends very quickly, and it's a lot of fun with my bandmates, and they also love each other. That's amazing, and yeah, it was great fun.
Good.
I'm looking for more.
Yeah. Well, where else in the world do you want to go, or do you want to just take over the entire world?
I mean, that would be amazing. It costs a lot to travel. So
Yeah.
right now, we're focusing on Germany.
Hmm.
And but if I have the opportunity to go to another country, I would love to do it. Like for example, being support act on a little Europe tour for any bigger artists, that would be amazing.
Hmm. How does Germany feel about the pop rock sound? Is it something that they're into or
Yeah, it exists.
yeah.
I live in Berlin. That's more a city focused on like electronic music, techno.
Okay.
Um, And I think the kids in Germany, yeah, currently electronic music is huge, I think. Also rap music, hip hop. And there are not so many kids that listen to rock music, I think. But especially on the countryside, there's more of a rock culture. And we have lots of rock festivals in Germany and also
Yes.
metal and so for sure he is an audience, yeah.
Great. One of my dreams is to go to Wacken someday. I would love to go to Wacken open air. Like,
Come here, tell me if you're in Germany.
I would love that. But it's huge. You're right. It's so expensive to travel. But if I ever do it someday, I'll tell you. But because I'm a huge metalhead, and that's like on my bucket list for me to do. Is
Yeah, I think it's a really crazy experience.
well, tell me about your latest EP, Safe and Sad.
Yeah, Seven Sad is my second EP ever. Got released in March 23. And I made it together with a producer, the same guy who made my first EP called Ole Kuhlmann. And I wrote the lyrics all on my own on my first EP. I got help from a friend who's a songwriter. But this time I wrote the lyrics on my own, and yeah, I arranged the music together with my producer. And it's, yeah, all the songs are pop rock, but they are inspired by different genres and different eras. And the songs speak about fears, about breaking free, about comparing to others, about being underestimated, about ghosting, and the one song is just describing some nightmares I actually had at night. And yeah, it was fun working on it. I made a music video for Next to You, and I released 3 singles, and then yeah, the EP came up with 6 songs all in all.
Okay, so what part of it was inspired by a nightmare? What happened in the nightmare?
Um, I'm talking about different nightmares. I put them all together in a song and yeah, combined them kind of.
Okay.
Um, all about scary things like getting murdered, murder somebody else, ghosts. Yeah, the song's called Death Dreams, so it's about yeah, very frightened dreams when you wake up and you're like,
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
I'm almost choking, and thank God it was just a dream.
You- I always have those dreams where I'm like falling off a cliff and then I like jolt awake and I'm like, okay, wait, I'm in bed. I'm fine.
Yeah, that's a scary experience. It's not a good start into the day when you
No.
wake up and you have like if you did sports, your heart pumping.
So what is next for you? What can we look forward to look forward to coming from you, I should say.
In 2024, I want to start writing and also finishing my first album.
Yay.
Yeah, I will work with another producer this time, and I'm also open to work with several various people on it. And yeah, that's the huge project for this year. Also, we want to play lots of shows in the summer on small festivals again. I'm very curious, yeah, which will actually be confirmed. I'm still in the booking phase, and also we want to go on a little club show tour in May through yeah Germany with 2 other artists. Also, this is still in the booking phase, so I can't tell you more yet.
Mhm.
I want to learn screaming. Um, I want to design a t-shirt. I have a few little merch pieces now, but yeah, it should be more. It should more look like fashion than merch, not just logo.
Yeah.
A bit more design. This is coming, and yeah, these are my plans. Being more active on TikTok again.
No, I can't. I've tried TikTok a little bit, but I feel like I'm still working on it. I feel like I'm still learning. And by the way, if anybody can design a shirt, it's you. I was just telling everybody, like I was just telling Katie before we got on, I was like, I need to raid your closet. So if you put out merch, we need to pay attention to this.
Oh yeah, I will show you. Yeah, I have a few ideas, but nothing is in you can't see anything yet. It's still in
Yeah.
progress, still in my mind. But I think soon I will find the time to try out my ideas.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I can't wait for it all. Katie, thank you
Yeah,
so
I'm
much.
like more of a more is more person. So I think
Yeah.
there will be a lot going on the t-shirt.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I can't wait to see it all. I can't wait for everything new. Thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Thank you so much for the invitation. It was very much fun talking to you.